in the third Doctor tell you that Gary Gallifrey. So it's Tom Baker says Gary Free, which was I watched one
Okay, please put your hands together for Mr. Sylvester McCoy, Adam Brown, and Sarah Louise Madison. Hello.
Hello. Okay, yeah, Shakespeare first, and then afterwards, your musical.
I was going to moderate this panel, but I think Sylvester doesn't need me here.
No. I just feel this is what when actors go for an audition, what you're looking at now is what it's like. It's terrifying, isn't it?
So, does anyone have any questions that they'd like to ask? Okay, there's one straight away in the middle of the room. We've got a microphone there. Shaman the Cap is going to bring to you.
Sylvester, is it true that you can really play the spoons?
Oh, God.
I nicked them from the restaurant last night. Feeling this question might come up. I'll give you the fiver afterwards. You can laugh. You're the one who wanted to know about the spoons. Right. I'll give you a spoon. Can I go now?
Is that something that you try and incorporate into a lot of your work?
Yes, you haven't seen the extras on the DVDs for The Hobbit?
Yeah, I've seen you play it.
They tried to talk Peter Jackson into getting the spoons in.
Right.
I nearly did, because I got some wooden spoons, because I thought these would be right for the Hobbit world. And I got some wooden spoons, and I put them in a musical case, and I was walking around the set with them, and Peter said, "Wow, what's in there?" And I opened it and showed him, and I played the spoons, and he said, "Wow, we've got to have that in The Hobbit." And then he forgot about it. Because I've got them in everything. I mean, you know, Doctor Who, it wasn't my idea. We had a party, and everyone was doing their party piece, and I got the spoons out naturally. And the producer, John Nathan Turner, said, "Wow, we've got to have those in Doctor Who." I thought he was joking. But no, he put them in, and I got to play them all over Kate O'Mara's front. And those spoons did bounce, I can tell you.
Okay, any other questions from the audience? Yeah, the guy in the hat over there.
Sylvester, what terrifies you more, Dalek Cybermen or weird Doctor Who fans?
The third one. Daleks, Cybermen, or weird Doctor Who fans? Well, I mean, I did away with the Daleks. They keep coming back. I killed them and blew up their planet. So I'm not worried about them. Cybermen, well, they're different, really. The thing about Cybermen, you should ask Sophie about Cybermen, because they're all kind of tall and handsome underneath all that silver. And she used to look forward to those episodes. I say no.
Well, same question for our really guests as well. So what is really fascinating?
I'm not afraid of anything.
Not afraid
I mean,
of
the angels can take anything. No problem.
Well, asking me that question in a Doctor Who panel, I'm about to get mobbed. But, no, I haven't. I didn't watch it, but I don't watch it.
You're too busy hiding behind the couch. You missed most of it.
Okay, so moving swiftly on. Next question from the audience. There's one right over here. You might just have to shout so we'll get the mic to you. Let's pass it down the row, maybe.
How would you all feel about trying on a fez?
Pass it down. Actually, you are looking at the actor who actually wore a fez first in Doctor Who, I think. On the 25th anniversary, Silver Nemesis, the 25th anniversary show, I wore a fez and had I wore a fez and I had a mop. Anyway, does it not fit? Is that a new look, do you think? Oh, catch on.
I think it does it. Quite hipstery.
Anyway, yeah, no. So I was a fez wearer. I was a secret fez wearer. No, I wasn't. I was exposed in the 25th anniversary of Doctor Who. For those that want to go back and look and find out. I've been a fez. A weeping angel in a fez.
Now it's stylish.
Do you want to come outside, Anna?
It's not going to go on my fat head. I really do not have the longest head. My dad said it's like, you know, Alien. Then it keeps going. So yeah, look. Oh, look! See that bit still, yeah.
Brilliant. Next question from the audience. Well, we'll pass this back. Okay. Second row here,
So
for those at the back, which one of the stories I made that I was most proud of? Oh. Well, I think the third series I was most proud of my thing, you know. In that, well, I quite liked Ghostlight, the way the character was written, the writing for the Doctor I thought was great. I had no idea what it was about. Playing, you know, saying his words. I suppose that might be one. The one that's most memorable, though, is a different one, because we see it very differently from inside, looking out, you know, than you do. We were filming in the desert of Dorset, which is a big sand pit out of Dorset, mile by mile of sand, and it was over 100 degrees. Twice we filmed there. Survival and The Greatest Show in the Galaxy, and both times we had a heat wave, which is quite astonishing, really. Anyway, it was so hot that the cat girls, cat people, they're all dressed up in terrible fun fur and makeup and hair, cat thing, you know, and there was no shade. I mean, there was literally no shade. It was over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Sophie and I were all right because we had the umbrella. But one of them freaked out. She couldn't bear it. She stripped off her costume and was last seen running over a sand dune. The only problem was she forgot she was only wearing a thong. For some reason, that one sticks in my head.
in the middle of the room.
Yeah, my question's for Sarah. In the Weeping Angels episodes which you appear, are you able to pick yourself out among all the angels?
Yes, and there's one way that, apart from knowing which scenes I did, if there's like one or two of us, and my arms are outstretched, I have quite strange arms because I have like more of an extension in my arms, so I can see, like if you put your hand like that, that's where a kind of like normal person arms go. Mine kind of like stretches all the way around there, and that's really comfortable for me. So I'm like, if I'm going like that, it kind of goes off on a different angle as well. So I can kind of tell from my arms which one is me, because there are two of us. But there is also one scene in the forest. I did a green screen, so there's quite a few of me. So I'm just like that. Yeah.
How long does it take to put the makeup on?
The part is about 3.5 hours. That's to get the paint on, the corset, the top. Then we need half hour to get the nails on, the mask and the hairpiece. Then we need another 10 minutes on to get the skirt on, the wings, and then pop the eyes in. Then I'm completely blind. I can't see anything.
And then it's lunch.
Yeah.
Right, okay, next question. Sean, right next to you.
It's a question to Adam and Sylvester. What was it like working with Peter Jackson?
Great. Good. Really good. Like, it was, yeah, he's a very, very fun guy and a complete geek. He won't mind me saying that. He you know, if you forget about the amount of money being spent on that film, I mean, I used to do theatre before, I still do, but like the coffee budget alone on set would have funded like 100 of my Edinburgh shows I used to do. So if you forget about the money, it's just a guy with a group of actors kind of doing a movie in his shed or something. It's got that feel. It does make it feel like a home movie, but it's not. It's on one of the most expensive budgets that there has been on a movie. So yeah, he's a lovely guy.
He is. He's very relaxed. He's the kind of guy. When I first went there, I would go up to him and say, "Excuse me, could you tell me where the director is, please?" And that's when I got sacked. No, but, he's just like he's an ordinary bloke. I mean, he's not in any way like a man who's in charge of millions and millions of dollars worth of, you know, film. You know, and as he says, a geek. He loves Doctor Who. He collects everything. I mean, he's a complete collector, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
He's got huts full of stuff.
He's got a hangar with lots and lots of World War I replica aeroplanes and real aeroplanes, which we were kind of invited to. Like, he just sat at home, done a day shoot, and the phone call went, and it was his assistant. I said, "Adam, what are you doing tonight? Would you like to go and fire guns in Peter Jackson's hangar?" Well, I'm not really into guns, but yeah, I'll go. Had a surreal experience with a few dwarves kind of just firing blank. It was so random. Then he goes from that extreme to the other extreme where he actually owns Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And he drives to work occasionally. He goes, it was so weird that you'd arrive on set and it parks up in the Peter Jackson car park was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. It's just so weird.
And also James Bond's car.
Yeah, that's right.
He comes in and James Bond collects everything. He's got my costume, I believe, as well. I've got a blue costume. I wonder where it went. But no, we were, you know, I was off and on, in and out, over the 3 years. And at the end, Peter made this lovely speech, which he did for all of us, really. And it was a very heartfelt, warm thank you to us for, you know, being paid so much money to be in his film. That's an exaggeration. Anyway, and he never mentioned anything about, you know, Doctor Who until the very last sentence. And he was going, yes, and it was lovely, and here, this is, you know, staff, that's your present, and there's the back from your chair, and here, you know, a bottle of wine from Bilbo Baggins, you know, kind of house. And then he said, and it's been really polite, he said, and I got to work with Doctor Who! 3 years and never mentioned Doctor Who. And in a way it was wise, because, you know, the balance of power was different. If I knew he was, you know, a fan, I would have said, come on, yeah. You want to know that or not? Give me a bigger part. I want 3 close-ups.
He originally wanted you for Bilbo Baggins, didn't he, for Lord of the Rings?
Well, I went, auditioned for it, yeah,
right,
12 years ago, and there was, you know, I filmed, we all had screen tests, I told half a dozen actors, and then they whittled it down over 6 months, and they kept saying to me, no, you're still in the picture. In the picture, not in the picture, which is in my picture. Anyway, that? Anyway, so I eventually got down to 2, and they said, there's only 2 of you left. So it was getting very exciting. And then, of course, Ian Holm got it. I was disappointed, obviously, and hanging on for the 6 months. But then, at the same time, I was actually rather flattered to be in the same kind of, you know, place as Ian Holm. I thought, wow, that's nice, isn't it? It's
I
really
think
nice.
deservedly so, I think we'd all agree.
Yeah.
So, next question from the audience. Okay, we'll go down here.
This is for Adam. We all know you've done theatre, like you just said, and you've obviously been in movies.
Yeah.
Do you plan on doing anything else other than the Haribo advert that you did?
That is going to live to haunt me.
Adam, explain. I missed this.
You can get it on the screen if you want me to.
No, okay. I did an advert for some jelly sweets. Yeah, for a Haribo.
Oh, Haribo, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not Johnny Baby.
Yes. And yeah.
So the question was, what's your next? Is the Haribo ever going to launch you into stardom?
No, it paid a bit of my mortgage off, which was nice. But no, I've just come back from finishing filming Pirates of the Caribbean. Woo! So yeah, I'm in Pirates of the Caribbean 5. And we finished filming 3 weeks ago. I was in Australia. So yeah.
What's your character?
I play Kremble, who is one of Johnny Depp's new recruits. So I'm a goodie, and I'm in Johnny Depp's gang. So I'm like a very nerdy pirate. Yeah, and the Haribo advert. Thank you for pointing that out to me. I realise it's still being shown on television and I'm not getting any more money for it.
What was the Edinburgh show that you did? Was it a comedy? Was it a sketch show? Or?
Yeah, well, kind of sketch shows. Yeah, I had a theatre company, a comedy double act, and we did Edinburgh shows, and we did about 10 shows, and then we used to tour them around the country. So, yeah, being very silly. And then The Hobbit came along and we changed my world. Yeah, in a good way.
Next question. We've got on the 3rd row at the front, champ. Over here. There's a question there.
It's for Adam. Aside from Sylvester, obviously, who is your favourite person to work with on The Hobbit?
Do you know what? People ask me that all the time, actually, and this sounds so bloody corny, but I think I don't think. Well, for me, because it was my first movie, I don't think I'll ever experience that kind of family thing that we had down in New Zealand, and everyone was really, really lovely. And you know, I'm still in contact with a lot of people today, even though everyone's really busy. But I guess Dino Gorman, Graham McTavish, Ian McKellen. He emailed me, "Bloody man, who you ordering pirates? About bloody time." And yeah, Martin. Yeah, those.
Sylvester, I met one of the people on The Hobbit that you enjoyed working with. Besides Adam.
Yes. Well, I mean, most of the time I was working with Ian, and that was a pain in the neck. Physically. It wasn't a pain in the neck, because he's so tall.
Yeah.
I had to keep looking up. But I spent years actually working with him before I got there, because we toured in King Lear together around, and in a way that was part of my journey. You know, first it was Bilbo Baggins not getting it, and then going to The Hobbit to New Zealand and being seen by people there, and you know, and then doing the screen test for Guillermo del Toro, and he said he would have me in the film, and then so that was the process to get in there. But it was a joy. I mean, I used to really look forward to it because I was not there all the time, but I just loved going back and seeing all the lads. And I still do because we do conventions, you know, we were in Germany earlier this year, was it last year? I can't remember. And it's just such fun. It's like, it reminds me of the old days when I was at boarding school and, you know, you used to go on holiday and then you come back at the end and all your mates you haven't seen and you get together and you talk about this and that. You know, have a good old natter and a great time. And, you know, Peter Jackson made such a good feeling on the set, and it permeated all the way through everybody. There's nobody I can think of that I thought, oh God, not him or her. Yeah, no, it's great.
You mentioned King Lear. I know that that's another role in which you got to play the spoons as well.
Yes, I did. Yes, I'm not sure Ian is too pleased about that, but never mind. No, that again, I did the same thing I did with Peter Jackson. I didn't actually. I had put them in a musical case, a little musical case, spoons case I've got, and I carried it around the rehearsal room, and Trevor Nunn suddenly went, "What's that?" And I opened it and said, oh, "We've got to have that in King Lear." Because that was my intention, and I got it in.
Okay, next question from the audience. There's one right at the back, stood up, Shan.
Keeping that man fit.
Lovely. Would you rather fight a dragon-sized hobbit or 100 hobbit-sized dragons?
Like a big Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
Like a huge Martin Freeman.
Or a 100 little dragon. Benedict Cumberbatches. This is Benedict, by the way. Say hello.
I think I'd fight a very big Martin Freeman. Do you know how I'd fight him as well? I'd rip off his clothes, not in a sexual way, not at all, and then get him to wear like the most awful clothes, because he's a real clothes person. Like, he used to go be in New Zealand and go, God, why do people don't even wear anything? Because he's very, very stylish and into his clothes. So I'd fight him by taking off his clothes and getting him to put on some really, really horrible jogging bottoms, which I'd never see him in, yeah, and a pair of Crocs. I mean, Crocs are great on the right people.
They're so comfortable, Crocs. An old croc and Crocs. If I have it to be crocky.
We had another question over in this area, I think. Okay, anyone else then? Okay.
This is to Sylvester. Out of the current crop of Doctor Who's, who was your favourite online?
Of all
the Doctor Who's?
Well, I often said that I think your first Doctor you watch tends to stay as your favourite Doctor a lot of the time. It's like your first love, you always remember them and have great fondness for them. And my first was Patrick Troughton, right? So I name him, and I also think that he was a very important contributor to Doctor Who because he managed to make it work, the regeneration. And he made, that was he could have actually failed the whole thing and we wouldn't be here today. But because of him, he managed to make it work and then start the whole ball rolling for regeneration.
And still around after 50 years?
Yeah, 50 years, yes. It's amazing. I mean, when the new Doctors came, I think they're great. Eccleston, I thought, was amazing. I love the idea he had a regional accent. I thought that was really important. Talks like that. I'm the Doctor. What did the Daleks make of it? They have no idea. I don't understand his Dalek. No. Anyway, you know what I mean. Anyway, so and then I thought then David was terrific. The only problem with David was that he upset the Scots because he did it in an English estuary accent, as you all know. He's a Scotsman. And I got a phone call from Glasgow from the news. Hello, Sylvester. We're all upset up here. Have you heard? He's not going to do it in Scotland. What do you think about that? I went, oh my God, what do I think about that? You know, this is dodgy. So I came up with this terrible lie, which was that well, not a lie, part of it's true. He can easily do Doctor Who as a Scot with a Scottish accent. Easy peasy. You know, he can do that easy. But for him, it's more of a challenge to do it with English estuary. I mean, that's a challenge as an actor. And I also said, but of course, we know that, you know, everybody in the world knows that one of the great Scottish actors, Sean Connery, when he comes along, when he plays a Spaniard, he's like, yes, I am a Spaniard. And he comes along, you know, and he's a Russian. Yes, I am a Russian. And of course, he never changes his accent for anything. He played an Irishman in and he didn't even bother for a Scotsman not to go to do that. I am an Irishman, and he got an Oscar. Anyway, I said to them, that's it. You know, he wants to prove he can. You know, the Scots can, you know, do accents. They didn't believe me, but anyway, that's right. And then along comes a 12-year-old, and I think, they've given it to a 12-year-old. So this is mad, because I thought maybe the Doctor should be old, because originally he was, and I thought I was actually too young when I did it. But then suddenly they give it to this 12, and then the 12-year-old, I watched him, and he was magnificent. I mean, he had a face that was amazing face, you know, for this young man. He looked as if he had been around for 1,000 years, and he could change. You know, he was just astonishing. I met him when we were doing the Five-ish Doctors reboot, and I hadn't met him before that, and he came bounding up to me like an Afghan hound. And his ears were flapping, and his tongue was out, and he put his paws up on me, and he licked my face, and his tail was wagging all over the place. He was a glorious and lovely man.
Sarah, when you first become aware of Doctor Who, you got favourites?
Well, I started watching it when Christopher Eccleston was the Doctor, but I started watching it because my brother was actually in it.
Oh, right.
He was one of the gas mask people. So it seems like the villains kind of run in the family at the moment.
Is that the one, You're My Mummy, is it?
Yes,
Oh, right.
yeah. And that freaked me out.
Yes.
Really badly.
I think it freaked a lot of people.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. But I think Christopher Eccleston was a brilliant Doctor. He really was.
Yeah.
And so, is your brother still involved with
No, he did 2 episodes with Christopher Eccleston. He did the Are You My Mummy one, and the one where you got the ghost and the Charles Dickens one. What's that one called?
Unquiet Dead.
Unquiet Dead. That one.
Quiet Dead.
What is that?
Was it Quiet Dead?
It's the
Unquiet Dead.
And did you get the part of the YouTube brothers involved, or was it a separate process?
Oh, it was completely different. I got mine through my agent, who's different to him.
You've been acting since you were very young as well.
Yeah, I mean, I started when I was 6 years old, and I started off with kind of extra work, but I did a lot of musical theatre and theatre as well. And then when I came out of college, about a month later, I got the call for Doctor Who, which was amazing because being a fan of it is, you know, it's a huge privilege to just be there. So I was like, oh, I didn't know what I was, but I was happy to just be in the background looking at the sky or a coffee or something. But to be such an iconic character in it as well is just amazing, and it does change your life because you get to do. You get new opportunities because of it, and you get to come to these conventions and stuff, and you get to relive being on the show as well, because you get to tell the stories to new people that don't know the stories.
It changes your life, and it ended mine. Your role.
My role?
Yeah, terrifying. I was in Norway, and it was dark. I came out of wherever I was, and there was a church steeple, and on top of it, you were standing there. And I looked up, and I thought, oh my God, I mustn't blink. And I was looking up at it, and I said, I'm going to keep, and then suddenly I got run over by a Norwegian. What's that mad Englishman doing? I said, I'm not English, I'm Scottish. Anyway, and I'm lying. But anyway.
Okay, another question from the audience.
I've got another question for these chips from the elves in the end? In Madrid.
Did I get the chips?
Yeah, did you get the chips?
No. We went bathing in the lake instead. You see that extra bit that was put in?
Yeah.
The dwarfs naked.
Where's that? Is it the extras?
The extended version of the Unexpected Journey. After we go to Rivendell,
Elrond.
That's right.
Who the elves on?
He walks past a fountain and goes, oh, those pesky dwarfs. And then you look, and it's all us dwarfs, like, naked, jumping in.
But, I mean, how did they do the naked bodies for the skinny ones who were wearing loads of body stuff underneath their costume? Did you have a body? I know.
I had a little body.
A little tummy.
Yeah. No.
Did you actually film that?
No, it was all computer generated. I wouldn't get naked with those guys.
Speaking of the...
what happens on tour stage?
So speaking of the extended editions, we're yet to see the extended edition of Last of the Five Armies. Are there any scenes you remember filming that weren't in the theatrical cut that might make an appearance?
Many, yeah. No, there were quite a lot.
Yeah, I think it will be... I'm really interested to watch it, actually. Because Thorin's death, we had the big funeral. And that's not it.
Yeah. He was speaking. He does, yeah. And then there was a whole section of a chapter with Bjorn. Is that his name?
Yeah.
The bear. You know, the man who changed into the bear. That disappeared. I don't know if that's going to come back. And I hope it does, because I had scenes with him. Ian and I had scenes with him, and they're gone.
Did Radagast actually fight in the battle? You just saw him appear with the eagles in the theatrical cuts.
No, I didn't. I just kind of, drop things, I think.
Spoons.
We're spooning people. If it in forks, it made more sense. Do you know how the fork got its name?
I do not.
Well, you see, Henry II brought in from France to Britain the fork for the first time. And it made its way slowly across Britain into Ireland. And it was an island, they're on the spoons all the time. And then someone gave them the forks, and they didn't have a name, they didn't know what to call them, so they started playing them on people, and people went, oh, fork, oh, fork, oh, fork. And that's how it got its name.
Okay, another question from the audience. Okay, another question.
Hiya, this is Sylvester. Obviously you talked about the new doctors. Yeah. I'll stand up for you. What do you think of Peter Capaldi as the new doctor?
He's great. I mean, he's great. I always thought, I dropped a little hint earlier when talking about the young doctors, that the doctor was an older person. And in many ways, the reason why I liked the idea of having an older doctor was because in our society, especially the Anglo-Saxon societies of Britain and America, they do not treat their old people with the respect that other nations do, like in Asia or in Italy or Greece or wherever. They treat their older people with respect. And having an older doctor, having an older Superman or a kind of a superhero, who A, didn't wear his underpants outside his trousers, and used his head rather than his brawn to solve a problem, I thought was important, and his age was important because young people would respect and look at old people in that way. So in those terms, I was kind of disappointed when they went for young. Although I'm now sold with the idea, and I think it has worked. And now they've brought it back again. It's interesting. You can do that. It works. I think he's great.
Yeah, I think with Matt Smith and David Tennant, kind of romanticise the Doctor a little bit. I think they were the first to actually fall in love with. It sounds weird, but they kind of way they look and stuff like that. Was relatable with the younger generation. I think that's they became more romanticised as a doctor.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, but it was wonderful in a way, though, because they did increase the amount of female fans that came to Doctor Who. And I mean, it's amazing now when you go to conventions all over the world, people are dressed up, beautiful girls wearing TARDIS dresses. You know, I keep thinking, that's my TARDIS, I'd like to get inside that. Oops. Next question.
I think there's a lot of questions. Okay, next question from the floor. Okay, right at the back of the room, shall we? Bigger audience.
Don't go there.
And I've got one for Sarah. If you could be a different character, which one would you be?
I would love to be a Dalek. I think they'd be really fun to play. But I did actually. I did actually get to go inside a Dalek at a convention.
The Dalek dresses as well itself.
Yeah, I did actually get to drive Dalek around, but I was so afraid of like driving over people's feet because you can't see anything. You just got this kind of vision, and there's a little, you know, you got kids running around and everything, and I'm trying to drive it, and I'm just kind of driving into walls, and I end up just giggling because I can't drive it, and of course with the voice changer it sounds really weird because it's a giggling Dalek. So I don't think I would be that good at it, but I would love to be a Dalek, yeah.
Like any villain, you seem to be quite a villainous.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, even my friend rang me up yesterday, and he's writing a film as well. And he said, yeah, your character's quite mean to me. I said, why is everyone making me mean? Like, even my friend thinks that I'm mean. And I'm not. But I always go around killing people or just being mean to them.
What's it like when you can't see like, a weeping angel?
Yeah.
What's it like being directed in that situation? You just physically pointed and...
Yeah, basically everything gets sorted out before I become blind, yeah. So it makes it a lot easier. But then it's like I did have to do one scene where every time the lights went off, we changed position. But of course the lights are already off where I am, so it's hard to kind of you can see a little bit of colour, but yeah, it's quite difficult.
Your ears are covered as well, aren't they? So
yeah.
It's tough to hear.
Yeah, it is tougher.
Sounds like a challenge.
Yeah, like even I did do in Town of Angel's Fashion Stone. I also played the semi-formed angel and the deformed, but with the semi-formed angel, it was someone else's mask, so it was built for someone else's face, and they tried to put on my face, and I never knew I had a big face because they had to have two people kind of pulling the mask either side to get the hairpiece to stick down. So my nose and my face was kind of like squished and stretched out underneath, which was a bit difficult. But now I know I have a big face.
Yes, you've got to face up to these things.
We've got time for about probably 2 more questions, so raise your hands if you've got a question. Right to the back again, chap.
Keep your hands up so you can see you.
Sylvester, if you could fight any baddie from all Doctor Who would it be?
Weeping Angels. I was told to say. I don't know, really. Yeah, they're all brilliant, really. It's astonishing how over 50 years they keep coming up with amazing kind of different creatures and odd people. I think the one I liked most was Zoe Wanamaker playing, you know, the face that was stretched. I know she wasn't a What was it called?
Sandra.
Sandra. Cassandra. Yeah. I thought that was great. I thought that was so satirical. I mean, that's, you know, taking a facelift, you know, to the most extraordinary. Did you see it? It's brilliant. I mean, I just think it's a brilliant idea. Zoe's brilliant too.
No final question.
There were two.
Make your hand nice and big.
There he is.
Yeah, there we go.
You can stand on the chair. You're not at home now.
This question is for Adam Brown.
Hello.
If you... No. Who's your favourite character out The Hobbit? Apart from yourself.
Well, somebody asked me this question earlier, and I'm not just saying it, it's because it really, I'd like to play him, would be Radagast the Brown. I'd love to play Radagast the Brown, if I could play a character like that.
So yeah. Job.
Yeah, you think you'd be better, wouldn't you? No. Can you say Radagast the Brown?
Radagast the Brown.
No, you haven't got the job.
I can't play the spoons. Well, the spoons will cut, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, Radagast the Brown.
How nice. In fact, I was asked that same question a bit later, but not knowing me. Adam had been asked it, and I said, Adam. I mean, you know, the dwarfs, I mean, I thought, you know, he didn't have that much makeup. He didn't have to suffer so much to get into it. And I remember the beginning thinking, oh, poor Adam, he's got so little to do. Anyway, when I saw the films, you just couldn't keep your eyes off him, really. So, yeah, that's my thing. You can give him the money later.
Okay, that brings us to the end of the Doctor Who and Hobbit panel. Please put your hands together. Thank Sylvester McCoy, Louise Madison,
Don't forget to click the link below to subscribe to me, James Croft, aka the Obsesstuvian 95. Have a great day.